I have 10 bets for you, okay? I have 3 on Underdog Fantasy, I have 5 on Prize Picks, and then I have 2 on the sports books. So let's go ahead, let's get through it. It's a lot of bets, and I say this all the time, but I ride with you guys on all of these plays, right? Winning streaks, losing streaks. The point of these YouTube videos is pretty simple, right? To make you a better sports bettor and help explain to you how you can beat the sports books, how you can make money sports betting. I see way too many people who try to start, making money on Prize Picks and Underdog Fantasy, and they don't even understand how the platforms work. They don't even understand how Underdog Fantasy is trying to make money off them. Do you think this site is a charity? No, they're trying to make money off you. Prize Picks isn't a charity either. They're trying to make money off you. So until you understand how these platforms even work, you shouldn't be betting on them, right? So we've gone through it before, but essentially all of these platforms, Prize Picks, Underdog, Thrive, they're fixed parlay platforms. Any 3-pick entry you create on Underdog, the odds don't change. You're always getting minus 122 implied juice. For a 5-pick flex play on Prize Picks, you're getting minus 119 implied juice. So long story short, when we're looking for plays on Underdog, what you're going to notice, and I ride with you guys again on all these plays, is I'm never playing 2-pick entries, essentially. 3 picks, 3 picks, 3 picks, right? Because that's where you're getting the best implied odds. And we've gone through this in tons of other videos, so I highly recommend you, sit down and watch a few of them. Breaking down the strategy. But now let's get into some plays. So first we can start out with a bet I have. Why not? St. Francis, Brooklyn, -6. Why did I like it? Why did I hit it? Just now, before I started this video, so I decided to include it. You may be like, oh, the profit margin's a little low. Why did you hit it for $2,200? So if we take a look right here, what you're going to notice is we should have really high confidence that this play is good, right? So DraftKings has this minus 125. Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker in the world, they're pricing this at minus 128. You take a look, Pinnacle and Bet Online, they both have the spread a full point away, right? At 7. So it may not seem like the difference between getting -6, like we picked up, and -7 is a big deal. A lot of people look at the bets I play. San Diego State lost yesterday. They get too concerned with these short-term losses or losing streaks, whatever. I've never said I'm going to win every bet. All my plays have an edge. Is when you're betting at minus 110 juice, you only need to win 52.38% of your wagers if you go to an odds converter calculator to break even, right? So when you're betting at minus 110, if you win 52.38%, 5,238 out of 10,000 bets, your net profit is 0. So as a sharp bettor, we don't need to win every bet. I'm trying to hit 55% if I can. I'm trying to win 55% of spread in total bets. So long story short, being able to get that full point of value, and we have really high confidence. You can see Caesars, Bet Online, Pinnacle, they all have the spread at 7. Why is WinBet laying 6? I don't know. Lines have been moving towards St. Francis, Brooklyn. They're asleep at the wheel. I picked it up. Go hit it, right? That's the first play we want to be on, and that's the first play I locked in. And again, I'm tracking my profit and loss for all these plays. You can see the sheet in the description. Again, since we started this YouTube channel, we're up 44K. We've been on a losing streak, a bit of a losing streak. But you can see here, right, like ups and downs and ups and downs, which is exactly what you'll see if you follow me on any of these like verifiable bet trackers as well. I said this earlier, but there's a verifiable bet tracker. It's called Pickit. So my username is like OddsJamAlex. You can follow along. It will show you all my plays kind of in real time. Or not in real time. I think it updates like every 20 minutes. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's get into some Prize Picks I have. So on Prize Picks, we want to go with a 5-pick flex play because that's where we're getting the best implied odds. So the first thing I found is right here. I freaking love this play. Seth Jones. His shots on goal line. So this is called a screen. So using the OddsJam screen, it's like, yo, Seth Jones, Prize Picks has his line at over under 2 shots on goal. Every sportsbook has his over under at 2.5. Barely juiced towards the under. I mean, you can see some of these books, right? They have the under 2.5 slightly juiced kind of across the market. But the way I use this screen is I basically just like scan for discrepancies. Like, hey, woo, oh, Dylan Larkin, his line is 3.5 on Prize Picks, 3 on Underdog, 2.5 on the sports books, but heavily juiced towards the over. Is there any value on Prize Picks taking the under? I don't know. But there's very clear value for the Seth Jones play, right? Like, this guy, his shots on goal line is so low. It's 2.5. So the probability he has 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 shots on goal is probably like 90% of the distribution. It's not like he's going to have 10 shots on goal. Or if he does, that's like a 1%, probability. So being able to push, like we're betting the over, we're pushing if he has 2 shots on goal, whereas anyone who places this bet on a sportsbook or underdog is losing. So that this extra point in value, or half a point, really means a lot. Because if he has 2 shots on goal, we push, everyone else loses. And that's what I mean when I say, when you're betting, you should be thinking like an investor. The same way an investor, a stock investor, or whatever, a day trader, they're looking for value in the market, trying to find value. That's what you should be doing, right? In sports betting markets, we're looking for where are these discrepancies where we can actually have an edge. You don't need plays on every game. But essentially, out of these tens of thousands of odds on Underdog, on Prize Picks, millions of odds across sportsbooks, they're all updating in real time on OddsJam. It's all about processing this data, scanning the data as the market moves around, and finding spots with value. So next play I went with, Gabe Davis, under 3.5 receptions. What you're going to notice is all of the sportsbooks have the under heavily juiced. The under is a lot more likely to occur, so really good value at minus 119. So that's play number 2. Here's play number 1 on Underdog. So on Underdog, again, we want to play 3 picks, minus 122 implied odds. Check it out. Jordan Clarkson, over 3.5 rebounds. All the bookies are pricing this. Again, every sportsbook sets lines independently. So you, essentially as a sharp bettor, you want to treat every sportsbook as an independent data point of where the line should be set and hunt for value. Right? So we can see here, minus 188, minus 175, minus 158. So looking across the market, it's like, yeah, we're clearly getting enough value to beat the vig, beat the juice, and have value at minus 122. So this is a mathematically profitable, in other words, positive EV bet on Underdog Fantasy. And again, it's not like a lot of people are like, oh, this sounds too easy. Sports betting's too easy. No, it's not. Out of the tens of thousands of lines on Underdog, most of these are terrible because of the juice they're baking into this market. Most of these lines are horrendous, right? But what OddsJam does is it processes all the data, and then this, the screen or all these different betting tools, this is called the positive EV tool, which just points out value. It just points out value. Like, what's beautiful about it is there's no BS. It just points out value for the sports books you use. So this is a video about Prize Picks and Underdog. So those are the 2 I have selected right now. And it just points out value. And this is clearly a play we want to be on. When the sharpest bookmaker in the world, Pinnacle, has this juice to minus 178, Bet Online minus 172. I mean, you look at all across the market, there's variations from book to book, but they're all telling us the same thing. Slam Jordan Clarkson over 3.5 rebounds at minus 122. So we hit it. Bradley Beal. I hit that, and I hit that. Same strategy, look for where the sports books have the over heavily juiced. We're getting value at minus 119 implied odds. Pretty good, pretty happy with it. Kevin Huerter, over 2.5 threes. Hit that as well. So long story short, here's my play, 5-pick flex play. In 6-pick flex plays, Prize Picks recently added, and they're very similar. To 5 picks, minus 119 implied odds roughly. So that's what I hit there. Okay. And then there was another discrepancy that I liked here. So you can see Rasmus Dahlin, his line is 3 on Underdog. Now what you're going to notice is all the sports books and Prize Picks have his line at 2.5. So another big discrepancy, like looking for where Prize Picks and Underdog Fantasy are different from one another is a great strategy for making money sports betting with the screen. So here it's 3, 2.5. It's like, okay, I definitely want to be on his under. So that's what I went with, right? Him under, Clarkson over, Huerter over. And then the final play is right here. Michigan State, Notre Dame, over 139 points. I hit that for 1.1K, and I added that to my sheet where I'm tracking profit and loss. Again, when I started doing this in September, it says no promos, no fantasy, right? And the reason is no promos because these odds boosts and like if you go to some of these sports books, like stuff like this, I mean, whatever, or these sign-up offers, like that's not really fair to include. That's not actually making money sports betting, so I didn't include it. And then fantasy sites, I just figured probably didn't make that much sense, but could have included them, but now we're already here, so I don't really feel like going back and adding them. But you can follow me on any of these verifiable bet trackers, like the Pickett one I showed you, that will, kind of show you my profit and loss on all of these different ones. So, I just wanted this to be straight up sports betting profit and loss. But regardless, those are the two plays I locked in. I obviously had some plays from earlier. It's all about forming your own portfolio of mathematically profitable bets, forming your own hedge fund to positive EV wagers. Let's make money.